Okay, it's the 22nd of May. It's a Thursday, and we got about 30 minutes to the NY Open. We'll go to the charts in a bit. So we'll check everything. It's fine. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay, let's start with the calendar. Okay, we've got 8:30 a.m. We've got news, unemployment claims, and then again an hour, almost an hour, 50 minutes after that, we got news again at around 9:45 a.m. EST. So it makes sense to just wait for 8:30 a.m., right? Because 30 minutes after NY Open, there is news. Even though these are non-important news events, I mean, they're not going to do anything. They're not going to change the direction of price. They'll probably just add volume or create a pullback to grab liquidity for the current direction of price at the time of the news event, right? So we have to obviously see what's the direction of price for the session that we're trading for the NY session. Uh, and then this will probably just add volume to that current direction, right? It's not going to reverse price or anything. These are not important news events. But because it's 30 minutes after NY Open, it makes sense to just wait, right? For the news event and then look for a setup. So we've got plenty of time because we've got about almost an hour for the prep work and analysis, okay? So let's go up a time frame and take a look at the weekly, what's happened. Now, the previous week closed bearish with a large wick to fill. We kind of anticipated this. And we said when price starts to push up, it could be a reversal or it could be a liquidity grab to push further down for price to come down and fill this week. So which means on the weekly, sorry. So on the weekly, one second. So it's basically on the weekly time frame, right? On the weekly time frame, if this is a liquidity grab, that means price is coming all the way down to fill this wick, right? That's a 1,700 pip move down. That's on the weekly. Now that doesn't mean that's going to happen in a single day or a couple of days. It could take a long time for that to happen because that's what the weekly is telling us, right? And the weekly, if this is a liquidity grab, then price is coming all the way down here, right? Even further down, which is about a 2,200 pip move down, right? But again, that's on the weekly. That's not on the daily, right? So that can take a week, 2 weeks, or even longer to happen. Now, on the lower time frame, there can be daily candles that move up, daily candles that move down, right? Just a second. Okay, so what we said yesterday and what I said day before is price is heading to a decision area, which is this, right? 3329. That's it was a decision area here, a rally-based rally. So whenever I say decision area, it's a daily or weekly support or resistance level or supply demand level, right? On the daily or the weekly time frame, right? Very straightforward. Daily or weekly support or resistance or daily or weekly supply or demand, right? So there was a daily demand level here, rally-based rally. Price pushed down, ignored the level, came back up, created a new demand level here where that supply zone was, pushed down, price pushed back up, ignored it on the way up, came back down, created a demand level right where that level was, 3329, and price came up again, and now it's respecting that level, right? We haven't broken above that high. We're respecting the zone and we're pushing down. I also said if price reacts to this area quickly, if it comes there in within about 2 hours, 3 hours, if it forms 30-minute resistance and a tradable 30-minute back candle closes, then it's very likely price is going to reverse at that area and we're not going to go through it. How to identify the two is when price starts to range at a decision point, at a decision level. If it starts to range for 4 hours, 6 hours, or 8 hours, then it's very likely, there are no guarantees or certainties in trading, but it's very likely the price is going to push through that area. So what we've seen here, if you go to the 4-hour time frame, price came up, created a demand level, and dropped down very quickly, right? If you look at the 30-minute time frame, that's exactly what happened. We created 30-minute resistance. We were there for about a couple of hours, right? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So which means there's the 4 30-minute candles, that's about 2 hours. And price started to push down immediately, right? So within 4 hours, we're starting to see a push down. So which means on the daily, this could be a reversal. And if this is a reversal, then the weekly time frame, it could be a liquidity grab for price to continue to push down, right? This could be a liquidity grab for price to continue. But now, is that going to happen this week or is it going to be next week, right? We don't know that. Now, let's go to our trading chart, right? So on the daily, we are bearish because price is reacted to a liquidity level. So we're bearish. We've gone there. We created a 4-hour supply zone, as you saw, and price is pushing down. We've broken below the previous daily candle low. Okay, where could we be heading to? The minimum area we could be heading down to is around 3,250, which is about easily 475 pips away, right? That's the minimum area that we could be pushing down to. About 460, 450, 470 pips down, right? We could be pushing down. And that's the sell trade I would want to take, right? Coming down because we know where the minimum area is, right? That's where again there's a decision level here, a drop based drop, price came there, we respected it the first time we dropped, and then we pushed straight through, and we created a rally, a base, and a rally, right? Again, a decision level here we created, right? So the minimum area that price needs to come to is that area, which is 3250, right? So that is about 475, yeah, about 470, 480 pips away from where current price is, right? So let's go to our trading chart. Now, yesterday there was a trade. It worked beautifully. I hope you guys caught the trade. The trade happened a little later. We had to wait. So the entry level was given. This is exactly how I ended the stream, right? The blue ones are always the TP levels. The green is the entry level. The red one is where you're going to manage risks, right? So that is exactly where price came, tapped it perfectly to the pip. So that was about a very small stop loss. I think about you could have had your stop loss underneath this candle, but this is where you would want to manage risk. So at around 18 pips, 18, 20 pips, you were managing risk, and price just went straight to, this was the first area I said the price would head to, 3307, then 3312, 16, 20, 26 at the weekly SR level, and then it just continued on, went straight up, okay? So I didn't give out any other setups for the rest of the day. I very clear. If you watch the last 10 minutes of the stream, it's very clear what I said. This was the trade. The buy idea was the trade. That was the only trade idea that I gave and that I personally took. I didn't give out any other sells or buys for the rest of the day, and that's exactly what price did. Okay, so let's get rid of all of these and start this process all over again. Okay, let's get rid of this also. Price is broken below it. Now let's keep it. Let's keep it. It's no longer high liquidity zone. Deleting that. Okay. 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 Let's get to work. Start with the 4-hour time frame. What do we have? Let's start with supply, right? So what we have is we had a supply zone here created by an invisible candle or a gap. We've spoken about this many times. I've taught this concept in the streams. Whenever there is a big gap there, especially when the week ends and the next week begins, then there you have to visualize that that's on the 4-hour time frame. When you see a 400 pip gap like that, that's an invisible 400 pip candle, right? And that's exactly what we had: a rally, 4 basin candles and a drop, right? And that's exactly where price came. It filled the gap. We spoke about this for several days. The price is very likely to come up and fill the gap, and that's exactly what it's done. It come up, fill the gap, come to the zone, and it's pushed down. Now, this is the source: the drop, the base, and the drop. These two are basin candles. That's a drop, and this is a reaction to that, and prices come exactly to that level, and it's starting to drop again, right? Now we have to see, is price going to continue down today, or are we going to see some kind of lower time frame support form at a liquidity level and price start to push back up again, right? As a session trader, we have to be um, we have to be fluid in how we think, right? You cannot say that, okay, the daily time frame is pushing down, that is, we are reacting to that, so I'm only going to look for sells. No, it doesn't work like that. As a session trader, if you are a session trader, if you're trading the first 2-3 hours of a session open, either the London session open or the NY open or the NYSE open or the Asian open, then you have to be looking at what the lower time frames are telling you, and ideally on the 30-minute or the 15-minute, what they tell you. So if they come to one of these liquidity areas and price starts to create structure at these liquidity areas, that means that's the direction that you have to trade. You cannot say I'm not going to trade in that direction. It makes no sense. I try to take opposite side trade, right? So all right, so prices come up here. We've created, so that's the source, that's a reaction, and this is a second reaction to it, right? So we're going to bring this zone. We haven't gone through the zone yet. The zone high is at 47.52. We haven't broken it yet. So I'm going to extend this because we have a new zone here now, right? Does that make sense? Yeah. I'm going to get rid of this liquidity candle. We'll redraw it. Okay, we'll redraw it. Yeah, so we have a high here is 47.52. 1 second. 47. Let's make that 82. Okay, better. And this closes 238. We're going to take a look at that on the 1 hour time frame because we have a weekly SR level here. So whenever price comes through, goes across, whatever you want to call it, over a weekly SR level or a psychological round number, we have to go down to the lower time frame, right? And see if there is a zone there. And there is a zone. There's very clearly a zone there. You can see a drop, a base, and a drop. So we can't ignore that. We have to mark that. So we're going to keep this. We're going to keep the zone as is, and we're going to mark. We're going to mark this one out as well. Right on the 30-minute, a drop, 2 basin candles, and a drop. So this high is 117, and the open is 649. Okay, done. That's 4-hour supply. We're going to see if this is a high liquidity zone or not. We'll do that later. Um, and this one becomes 1-hour supply, right? Because we have a 1-hour zone there, a drop-based drop. Okay. Now, yeah, we're going to keep this like this. Mm, yeah, yeah, we're going to leave it like this. That's fine. All right. Next thing, we're going to extend these to the right. These are previously drawn zones, all zones. Extend the liquidity candle also because we haven't come there yet. And we've covered about 600 pips to the upside. That should be good enough. Just in case, let's extend this also, right? It's always good to cover a larger area. Now that we've seen volume coming, right? Yesterday we had let's look at the 15-minute time frame. Always when you want to see, if you're a session trader and you want to see volume, you need to look at the 15-minute time frame. So NY Open had a 100 to 200 pip candle, right? That was yesterday. And the previous day, we also had a NY session move. We had big candles here. That was about 87 pips. Yeah, decent move we had, right? So we've had like almost 2 consecutive days, you could say, of volume. So we can anticipate volume today as well, right? We've already done about, the daily candle has done about 624 pips already. So we can anticipate price to push further, right? Either up or come back down, push another 300-400 pips down. That's very possible. All right, let's continue. Right, prices come through another psychological round number. Let's take a look at this on the lower time frame. On the 1 hour, there is nothing. On the 30-minute, there is a sort of a zone there. So we have to, can't ignore it. There is a drop, a base, and a drop. This candle went through, right? I don't want to look at the 15-minute because I don't go to that. I don't go any lower than the 30-minute time frame when I'm looking for these zones that have crossed these levels. 30 is the lowest, right? So the high is 995.482. Okay, and that's where we're heading to, possibly heading there. Okay, all right. That's M30 supply. Okay, yeah, we're almost there. We're almost at the supply zone. All right. Now, let's take a look at this area again. Price has gone through it, right? Has gone through it. Um, that was a zone. We've crossed it, but we've closed back inside. Let's look at the 30-minute time frame. Just a second. To 95. Yeah, I'm going to use this. Okay, let's look at the 30-minute time frame. Maybe you can find a better base, I think. again because price has crossed this, right? Yeah, here, here, and this would be the leg out. Yeah, that's better. So this open would be 295,348. Yeah, 295,348. Yeah, so that would be the source. Rally base rally, price has come, tapped it, and it's pushing up, right? Yeah, there was a zone, there's a 1 hour zone here. There was a couple of zones here as well that we combined into one, but price has come now deeper and seems to be reacting to this one or 3289, right? And pushing back up to this M30 supply zone right here. Okay, right. 1 hour demand. Okay. So just give me a second. Just 1 second. Something's wrong with my stream. Okay. All right. We're pushing up here. Okay. Let's go. Let's look further down here. This area. There's nothing here. Let's look at the 30-minute time frame. Still nothing. There's nothing, right? We've gone across through this 3250 and 3265. There's nothing. Clean space to the left. So if price starts to close below 3289, then we could very likely push all the way down here, right? And that's what we spoke about on the daily time frame. Okay. All right. So these are the zones. We have a new zone here. We have 30-minute supply, and we have two. So we have three new supply zones. One readjusted one, a new one here, one more new one here, and a new demand zone here. Okay. 1 second. Yeah. Yeah. And there is also one forming here because this candle is closing in 6 minutes, and there is a demand zone forming here, right? Because we're coming across 3289. So on the low time frame, there's a drop base rally here, right? There's a new zone here. So 6 minutes for the candle to close. We'll mark it for now, but it's always best to wait for the candle to close before drawing these zones, right? Always wait for the candle to close, right? So I'm just going to draw that temporary there. Yeah, right? Because price has crossed 3289, has pushed up, forming a drop base rally. And now we come tap this 30-minute supply. So let's put the numbers on this. 483, 303. 3. Pushing up. Nice. Pushing up. A lot of volume. Pre-NY, a lot of volume. Okay. This is 303. Okay. All right. So yeah, about 5 minutes. So the candle should close bullish. So that should we should have a base here. I don't think it's going to come down and close bearish in the next 5 minutes. But we're, we're going to keep this. If that happens, we'll take the zone off. If not, we're going to keep the zone as is, right? So basically, we have two new demand zones and three supply zones. Now let's take a look at this zone and see if these zones are high liquidity zones, right? On the 1 hour, we're going through that right now. Yeah, let's extend this also to the right. Yeah, yeah, we've gone through that zone. Okay, let's start here. So on the 4 hour, this was the zone. Original zone was 263 pips. We've come deep in, all right, but we've created new supply and pushed down. So has this new supply taken out anything to the left? Yes, it has. We have a rally, base, and a rally here, right? So all of these are basin candles. Price pushed down and took out that base there, right? The low of that candle. So making this new 4 hour supply. This is a second reaction to it. That's the source. That's the first reaction supply, 4 hour supply, and the second reaction 4 hour supply, right? And we have crossed this. So that's a high liquidity zone, right? Then this one here has also crossed this push down. This move down has taken out rally, this rally base, and a rally here has taken out this and has taken out that low as well. This move down, making this also a high liquidity zone. Okay. This one is no longer high liquidity zone, but we're going to keep the zone until the 30-minute candle closes, right? Um, okay. Now let's take a look at this demand here. On the 1 hour, yeah, we are taking out supply right now. Even on the 30 minutes, there's a drop base rally. We've taken out this, right? This drop base drop. So this is a high liquidity zone now. Okay. And this one here, let's look left. Yeah, has taken out these highs here. This push up has taken out these highs, right? This drop base drop here, right there. Okay. So making that a high liquidity zone too. Okay, done. Next step. Let's see in these if there is a high liquidity candle in these areas now, right? Because we have new 4 hour supply here and we have 1 hour supply here. They're both fresh zones. Hmm. All right, let's start with the 1 hour time frame. Here, that's a 106 pip candle. It's a 134 pip candle. Let's start with this. Okay. Let's also look left here. It's a 142 pip candle. I need 566. Yeah, it covers that candle. Perfect. Oh, that candle covers it. Okay. Let's just keep that on for now. I'll just go the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, this is the candle. This one right here covers both those zones. Let's go the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, it's on the 30-minute. Right? So that's a liquidity candle right there. And price has tapped it already once. Let's take a look at on the 5-minute. So 115 pip move down. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. 918636. Okay, that's the candle. Covers both these zones. Perfect. Okay, 30-minute candle closed above. We can get rid of this now. Let's keep it. I want to see if price is going to close back below for us to push down. We closed up with no 30-minute candle with no top wick. I want to see if price is going to close back inside the zone to push down. Let's leave the zone. I'm not going to take that zone off. Okay, fine. So let's look at this area. Now prices, there's no liquidity here because price has gone through it already. Let's take a look at this area here. On the 1 hour, it's nothing. On the 30-minute, it's a 126 pip candle. 138. Yeah, this one right here. That's a liquidity grab. Big wick from a weekly SR level. Three eight four 303. Let's take a look at it on the 5-minute. Yeah, I think the 15 is good. Keep it on the 15. Okay. Let's take a look at this area. Doesn't seem like there's a liquidity candle there. There's nothing there except for this. This big candle, 251 pip candle. Yeah, there's nothing here. There's nothing. There's no lick. It's just this. What's this high? 107. Okay, I know what's happened. 97, 109, 534454. Okay, so that is where prices reacted to that liquidity candle right there and pushed up. So we're going to keep that. We're just going to bring it down. This low is 8303, 2.3. Yeah, that's better. That was the candle that price reacted to, and 3289 and pushed up. Okay, done. Right? For the rub, yeah. If you break above this high, then we're coming to 3,350. We're going to push up another 110 pips here. There's nothing here. Just a second. We'll just put a line there and just look left. Yeah, there's this candle. Yeah. Yeah. 195. Yeah. 15-minute. Yeah, this one. 6006 006 071. Okay. That's what prices reacted to. Yeah. And it did that in the Asian session today. 30-minute resistance, tradable 30-minute back handle close. Price came back and pushed straight down 558 pips. That makes sense. Yeah, that's correct. Perfect. Done. Okay. Still have about 20 minutes left. Let's take a look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions, right? Let's go to the 50-minute time frame. Just give me a second. See where the market opened. Right there, that's the market open. The market opened at 33.16, right? 33.16. This is a bit tricky. The London low. We're coming back down. We closed above, we're trying to close back below. Interesting. Um, I'll have to go with this. Yeah, go with that as a London low. 427. Okay. $17.39. 543. 117. 427. Yeah, that's okay. All right. Let's take a closer look at this. So in the Asian session, we pushed up 275 pips, 280 pips. And in the London session, we pushed up, massive push down, continued down, roughly same push up and similar push down, 270, 280 pips. All right. So let's take a closer look at what price has done. We were bullish, very bullish yesterday, right? Very bullish, starting NYSC, and we continued up. right? We were very bullish. So price was pushing up and above the EMAs. Yeah, so we created, so the market opened here, right here at 3316, pushed up, came down, created the Asian low, pushed straight up to 3329, stopped there, and then the next candle broke the high and continued to the liquidity candle, right, that we have to the left. Formed 30-minute resistance, and yeah, we first formed 30-minute resistance, pushed back up, went deeper in, created the Asian high, tradable 30-minute back candle close. If you were trading the Asian session, this was the perfect trade to take. And price came back up and then dropped, massive drop, right? Asian session drop continued, yeah, 560 pips pushed down. Okay, let's continue. So price came down. On the way down, created another liquidity candle, tapped 3329, pushed back up, closed below, came down, came back up to grab liquidity from the liquidity candle, and 3329. We created the London high and came straight down. We're bearish now. Came straight past this. We closed below the Asian low, came straight down, came below the EMAs. We formed the London low, pushed back up a bit, closed at it, weak doji candle, weak bullish candle, and then broke the low and continued down to 3,300, closed below that, came down to 3289, right? And there's a liquidity candle here that we have drawn to the left. Price tapped it, 30-minute support formed, and pushed back up and closed back above the London low. Okay, interesting. We've closed back above the London low. In pre-NY, this was, yeah, 30-minute support was formed in pre-NY. We could push back here to the London high, right? Now, 30-minute support has already formed. What are we going to do for news? News is in about 12 minutes. 30-minute support is formed here. Liquidity candle created. Let's look at the 15-minute time frame. What's this low? 141, 145, 14. This one. Okay. So we have two M15 low breaks. We have 30-minute support form. That's a very wide stop loss. This one broke this low, 91.41, broke this low, 91.45, and this one broke this low, right? So it's high 061, this low is 303. Okay, I'd be willing to take buys here, right? And the reason is 30-minute support has formed within pre-NY hours from a liquidity candle, which is to the left here. Also 3289. So there are two liquidity levels the price has tapped, create the 30-minute support. Okay, we formed 30-minute support. We've tapped two liquidity levels, formed 30-minute support inside pre-NY hours. There are two 15-minute low breaks. So we can anticipate a move up here, right? We can push up here. That's about 197, 200 pip move. I would like, how are we going to manage risk though on this? That's the question, because this is really wide. Taking a buy here is, ooh, that's too wide. 1 second. Let's find a place to manage risk. $3,299. We're pushing up. We're pushing up. I don't think we're going to come down. We're pushing up. I don't want to chase price, but we're pushing up here. Yeah. 3299 is a good place to manage risk. So we can reduce our risk now. Closed below, closed at, stayed above, closed below, closed back above, closed below, came back, closed above. 3299 is good. Yeah, 3299 is a good area to manage risk. So now, so still large. Price needs to come down here. Needs to tap this area again for me to take a trade. We are pushing up. Let's get rid of this. Okay. We're pushing up. But I want price to come at least here. Let's get the 5-minute. Yeah, if you can get here or here, I'd be willing to take a trade to push up. Manage risk at 3299. Let's see if there's another place that we can manage risk. 3297. $3296. That's another support level that we can manage risk at. Resistance, closed above, closed back below, stayed below, closed above, closed at, stayed above, closed below, stayed below, closed back above, below, stayed above. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 3296, right? Those are two levels that we can manage risk. Now, I'm going to use those two levels only if price comes down and I'm able to take a buy here. I'm not going to chase price and take a buy with a 120 pip stop loss. That's not going to happen. I don't trade that way. Price has to come down. If it doesn't come to at least here, I'm willing to take a buy here and manage risk 50 pips, 80 pips. I'm willing to manage risk. I'm willing to take that trade if it comes here. But if it just pushes up here, then so be it. Then I'll wait later on. We might have a trade later on, right? Depending if it's going to be a buy or a sell. We'll have to wait for candles to close to see. We'll have to wait for at least an hour, hour and a half towards the NYSE open to see if there's going to be a trade later on, right? But I'm willing to take these buys if price comes down here. Otherwise, no. Yeah, if you drop here, I'm willing to take the buys. Yeah. Is that clear? Is everything clear? Is there any questions on what I've done so far on the analysis, on the trade idea, the trade setup that I'm expecting to see? Is anything not clear? Feel free to drop a message in the chat and I'll answer. Okay, so these are the areas I'm planning to manage risk if I take an entry here or here. I'm willing to take an entry at the London low, right? Around 3304, 3,301 or 3,300, 3,304. In that area, I'm willing to take a buy, right? If price pushes down, I'm going to take a buy to go up. But I'm not sure if we'll do that. We might news might come in, we might break the high and just continue higher, right? There might not be a pullback. Yeah, 30-minute support formed with no pullback. Yeah, we need to come down. I'm not willing to take a buy otherwise. Two and a half minutes more. Yeah, we should be coming to 3319. 3326. Those are the TP levels, yeah? But I want to pull back. I want to see a pullback. Yeah, has to be a pullback. Thirty-minute candle is closing a bear candle. Let's see if we can have a pullback. So this buy is here and here if we pull back. formed 30-minute resistance. See if we can come down. Should come down. Should come down. Yeah, this candle should push price down. 76 pips. No, we should come down. Should. Yeah, there's no makes no sense to even look at these news events. They're not important. They expect in 2:30 it's 2:27 doesn't mean anything. These are not important news events. Should be coming down. We have a 5-minute back handle created here. We should push down. Maybe go back up and then come down. 30-minute candle has no top wick, so we could come up here and then come back down. Stop because of this. There's a lot of volume in pre-NY. There's massive pre-NY push, 300 pip push. Should range and then maybe continue higher. Should come to 3319, 3326 because we've closed above, close above the London high, the London low. So we should be pushing back up here. Yeah, no top wick. No top wick. We should come up. 15-minute candle. No top wick, no top wick. Should be coming up. If you're okay with this risk, then you can take a trade. But you have to be okay with this risk. Because that's where you want to manage risk. 3299 first and then 3296. Those are the levels to manage risk at. Now I don't know if price is going to come down, but the structure shows and the analysis shows the price is pushing up to 3319 and 3326. So you got to be okay with this risk. I would like price to come further down, but it may not, right? It may not come down here. So if you're okay with this risk at this T2 level, 3309, then you can take a trade to push up here. That'll be about 95 pips. and then further up 165 pips, right? Take a trade here to push up. But you have to be okay with this risk. Taking a trade at 3309 to this, that's about 100 pip risk. I would personally prefer price to come at least here and a lower risk. A lower risk and a high reward potential. This 5-minute candle should push price down. Should push price down. This 5-minute candle. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay, I've taken an entry there. Perfect. Right there. Take an entry there. Taken an entry here. The London low. There's a further one. You can take a further entry here at around 3,300 or 3,300.5. You can take entry. And so this is my risk management levels. Taken an entry here, exactly at the London low. 3304.27. I've taken an entry, anticipating price to come here first and then here. But I'm going to manage risk here, these levels. You can use both these levels or any one of these levels. It's up to you. It depends on how you want to manage it. I will close partial positions, maybe 10%, 20%. If you break 3299, if you break 3296, I'll close another maybe 30, 40%. Taken the buys and waiting right now. I've also placed a pending order here, 3,300. We're pushing up right now. 3,319. See if we can get there. Yeah. These are also levels that you can place entries at if price pushes down. I'll be looking to take entries here at these areas. 3297.87, 3297.87, 3294.83, 3300. Those are all areas. Those are 4 entries basically. One there, one here, one here, one here. 4 entries I'm looking at. I've taken one already from here. This is low. 4.27. I've taken an entry there. Yeah. hmm And even one further down here if price comes deeper. Obviously, you're going to manage risk on these ones when price comes, but on the pending orders, you can't manage risk because they're not open yet, right? So those you leave as is. But on the one I've taken here, I'll manage risk if it price comes to these levels, and I'll leave those as is to be triggered. Okay, that's the plan. This close is 317. Yeah. All right. And now we wait. TP levels are given. Areas to manage risk is given. Entries are given. Now we wait. Here I've placed pending orders. here. I've taken, I had placed a pending order that's triggered already, pushing up. I'm not trading off this account. I have another account that I'm trading off on. I just want to keep this chart clean. That's the reason I'm not going to trade on this account. Anticipating price to first push to 3319, then 3326. And then if you have volume, continue higher to 3329. Let's see. It all depends on if this trade setup is going to work or not. And we'll know that when candles start to close. If candles start to close below these levels that I've given, these risk management levels, 3299, 3296, then we got to manage risk, and also then we see that price could be coming down, right? It could be something like yesterday, very similar to what happened yesterday. This is very similar, right? We had a push up, initial push up, and then price came, dipped in, got the entry, and then pushed back up, right? It could be very similar to what happened yesterday. It's in the same area. The entries are in the same area. Still coming down. We're still coming down. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes. We have about, what, 12 minutes for the 30-minute candle to close. Let's see if we're going to close bearish. Yeah, it's a long time. We've got 12 minutes for the candle to close. And that'll also be the close of the 1 hour candle, right? Okay. I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, what's happening? Coming down. Coming down. Yeah, still coming down. Now, 30-minute candle. Now, here's the thing. If the 30-minute candle closes below or at the London low or below the London low, I'll still manage risk at these levels, but I won't be closing all my trades. Obviously, I'm going to manage risk, which means I'm going to close smaller percentages. So about 15%, 20% at these levels, right? Because obviously I don't want price to go down and obviously go all the way down here. But these are the levels I'm going to be managing risk at. But if the 30-minute candle closes below this, I will manage risk at these levels. But I'll also wait to see how the next 15-minute candle is going to close. If the next 15-minute candle closes back bullish above the London low, then we could be continuing higher, right? So we have to wait for the 30-minute candle close, which is going to close in 4 minutes. And I'm going to manage risk at these areas at 3299 and 3296 because we are coming down. The 5-minute candle has closed bearish. We are coming further down. I have pending orders placed at these levels. I have a pending order at 3,300. Yeah, let me see. Where's my pending order? Yeah, 3,300 I have a pending order. Let's just make the 3,300. Yeah, I have a pending order at 3,300. And then I have an order at 329787. Why don't I have these orders here? Yeah, at these green levels, I have placed pending orders, right? 87. Okay. The next one is 9483. 9483. We're coming down. We're coming down. And 9316. Yeah. All right. Pending orders placed there. Let's see where the 30-minute candle. 30-minute candle should close below the London low. Should close below it. And it'll be important. We'll have to see how the next 15-minute candle is it going to close back below. If the next 15-minute candle also closes back below, then I'll close a few more positions. But obviously these positions are pending orders. They're not open orders, so they will remain as is. Right? They will remain as is. So it's 4 orders I've played. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One at 3,300. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 orders. And these are the levels to manage risk for the open orders. Any questions on anything that we've discussed? Why I've taken this trade? The analysis? Anything that we discussed today, this week? Message me in the chat. We should be closing below. Going to be closing below. London low. It could be very similar to what happened yesterday, right? Price came down, grabbed liquidity, and then went straight up. Yeah, we closed below. We should continue to push down. This is just a pullback to create a top wick to continue down. 15-minute candle, yeah, the close bearish. We should be pushing down further. Yeah, that 94 pips is a decent area to close partial positions. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 30, 40%, 30%. If you get up there. From this entry, if you get up there, you can close about 30%. That's about 100 pips. And then let the rest run to 3319, 3326. No bottom wick. No bottom wick means price can go up, create a top wick, come down and break the low and continue further down. This 5-minute candle is the cause for this move. This one right here. Right? That's a 75 pip candle. So we can come down here, at least here. It's very possible. Come down at least here. This bearish candle that caused this move down, right? This bearish candle that was created, price pull back to the open of it, or to that area, and push down 114 pips. You want to see the opposite of that. You want to see a similar bullish candle, right? Form from any one of these entry levels, right? We've taken an entry level here, we've taken a 3,300 at these green levels, right? These green price levels. At any one of those areas, you want to see something similar, the opposite of this. A 5-minute bull candle, strong bull candle push up, right? Just like this. That's when you know price is heading up to your TP levels. From any one of the entry levels, 3304.27, 9787, 9483, 9316, or even further down from 3289. Right now we don't have that. Uh, there isn't the opposite of that, right? Of this opposite would be a green bull candle pushing up from one of these price levels. We don't have that yet. So the 1 hour candle has also closed bearish. Yes. 1 hour candle has closed bearish. No top wick, no top wick here, no top wick here. Very likely price is coming up, and no bottom wick. So we're still ranging. We're just ranging here in the middle. We could come down and then go up, or we could just continue to come down. We are playing the odds. That's what we're doing, right? Price is coming up. I will close about 20%, 25%, 30% here at 3314. because that is 1 hour resistance and 30-minute resistance, right? And if you look left, that's resistance right there. See, resistance. So if we tap that, then I'll close about 25-30%. We have a strong bull candle close. Let's see if you're going to continue high or we're going to come down, create a bottom wick, and then go up. I would like to see price, honestly, I would like to see price come down to 300 or even to these price levels and then push up. It's more profit potential, but we are heading up now. We're heading up now. We need 30-minute candle closes, right? Because 15-minute candles are ranging, saying nothing. We're just ranging in this block here. So we need to see a 30-minute, this 30-minute candle closed above, this one closed, this one is nothing, a weak bear candle. This one is a, this one is a tradable 30-minute bear candle. So this is not a weak candle. It's a tradable 30-minute bear candle because it's got a lot more body than it has wick. So there's a lot of selling volume in that candle. So we need to see 30. So this candle has closed at the London low. We want to wait for the 30-minute candle to close now to see if price is going to push back. If it closes bullish, that means we're going to head up. If it closes bearish, then or if it closes back here at the London low or just below it, then we're coming further down, right? Because the 15-minute candles are not giving us clear direction yet. They're just moving sideways. So we have to wait for 30-minute candle closes. And also prices right now, the EMAs are going sideways, so price is ranging here. This is a partial close level, 3314. For this trade, that's about 100, almost 99 pips. My entry is just here under. Yeah, that's 99 pips exactly. I'll close 30%. It's not bad if we get there. Let's see if we can get there. Don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we push down now because there's no bottom wick. If price created a bottom, we broke in the first 1 minute. This candle opened 1600 as I see market server time. In the first 1 minute, we broke the high, right? We broke the M15 high. That was this high, 810. No, yeah, The first push up we broke. So we could come down and then continue higher. Came very close, 10 pips. I still don't see a 5 minute. This is a 5 minute candle, but it has no bottom wick. If this candle had a bottom wick, then that would be an ideal candle, a bull candle for price to now continue higher. But at any point we can come down. Maybe this candle or the next one or the one after that can come back down here. Still struggling to get to that high. Once we break this high, we're good. Once we break this 30-minute high, this 30-minute bull candle high, once we break this high, we're pushing through. We're gonna come to 3326 once you break this high. Price just needs to break it, get above this high. It's got about 25 pips. Once you break this 30-minute candle high, this is the pullback. Grab liquidity from this level, 3304.27. I'd mark this level right at the beginning for price to push up. I would like to have seen it come to 3,300, but it didn't. That's okay. That is why I scale in with my entries. I don't take all my orders in one place. I scale them in a setup. Now every setup doesn't offer a scale in, but most setups do. Yeah, we're coming there, just a few pips away. There we go, almost there. 3 pips. Yeah, just a few points more. It's 90, almost 97, 98 pips. We should come there. But at any point, price can come here. Just keep that in mind. Don't try to add positions up here, because don't chase price. Never chase. This is why I don't chase. So sometimes I get entries, sometimes I don't. Right? You've seen that on the streams. And today I did, but waited for the pullback. Price came, and we're moving up. All right. So don't chase price here, because price can at any point, the next 30-minute candle or the next 15-minute candle can come back down here. Right after we tap the high, we could come back down here. After we break this 15-minute, this 30-minute candle high, we can come back down. The next one could come back down again, because this one has no bottom wick. So don't chase price. There are traders who use breakout entries, and price breaks this high, I'll take the trade. That's fine. If that works for them, that's okay. I've got nothing against that. I just don't trade that way. Because now, there we go. Okay, tapped. Tap partial close. Yeah, partial closed. Perfect. That's 99 pips there. If you took the trade, if you partial close there, then give yourself a pat on the back. You did well. Have you broken the high? Have you broken this high? Yeah, almost. 475, 476. Yes, we broke the high. We should come now to 3319. That's the next TP level. 3319. If you took the trade, give me a thumbs up on the in the chat. If you took the trade from 3304.27, and I hope you're still holding some positions because I'd given these TP levels 3319, 3326. Nobody took the trade? Really? Just me? Excellent, Philip. Excellent. You still holding, Philip? Very good. Very good. So the purpose of these levels are partial close levels, right? So if you have risked, let's say 2% of your trade, and you've closed some, so now if price does come down, you lose less because you've already you partial close whatever percentage that you're comfortable. It could be 30%, 40%, 50%. You partial close because this is a decent move. That's a 100 pip move up, right? We took entry here, and our and our risk management level is like 50 pips away, right? 50 pips, so 100 pip move. So that's 2 to 1. So that's a decent trade. Now price can come down. I kept saying this. There is no bottom wick, so it can come down. We can come down. That is why 3314 is a partial close level. So you need to close a decent amount there, 40, 50%, 30%, whatever that you're comfortable with. And then you hold the rest for 3319 or 3326. Price can always come down and trigger these levels also. Then you would manage risk on the open trades and you would let these orders trigger, right? But we also have to watch while we do that. We also have to look at 30-minute candle closes, right? We're watching the 30-minute candle closes because the 15-minute is not saying anything. The 15-minute is closing sideways in a block here. We're trading in a range here in the 15 minutes, not doing anything. There are no top wicks. There's no bottom wick here, no top wick here, no top wick here. So the 15-minute time frame is not really saying anything, right? So that's why we're looking at. So if the 30-minute now candle comes back and closes bearish, then we got to be cautious with the trade that is open, right? Then maybe we close everything because if the 30-minute candle closes back at the London low, closes bearish at the London low or below the London low, that means we've come up, grab liquidity above the highs to push further down. So then you keep your pending orders, but you close everything of your open order, right? Because we could be coming deeper. So you don't want to hold drawdown because you've already made some profit on that trade. You don't want that trade to run in drawdown, right? So if the 30-minute candle closes bearish um, somewhere here, then you close the open order. You close everything off the open order and you hold the pending orders. Yeah, it's very similar to yesterday. Steve, what's happening? Came, grab liquidity, trying to push up again. Okay, stream's coming to an end. Yeah, I'll be here for maybe another 6-7 minutes. Wait for another 5 minutes before we see what a trade for later on. Yeah, we'll wait for another 5 minutes. I want to see how, I want to wait closer to this candle close. I want to see where this 30-minute candle is going to close. That will help us understand where price is heading, and based off that, we can plan for a setup for later on, right? And later on, when I say later on, it's around 10:30 a.m. EST, 11, yeah, let's say 10:30, 11, after post 10:30 a.m. EST, right? So about an hour, almost an hour from now, 10:30, 11 a.m. After 10:30 a.m. EST, right? So anything post 10:30, that's around when the second trade happens, right? Uh, Sometimes you can be very specific with the time, and I do that sometimes. Exactly, I can tell you when it's going to happen, 10:30 or 11 a.m. EST at the specific time. But sometimes it's a range. It's like an 1.5 to 2 hour range, right? So, but we have to wait. We have to wait to see where the 30-minute candle is going to close. So maybe wait for another 7 minutes. We're still trying to reject this area. We're trying to push down. If a if a 5-minute candle closes bearish, strong bearish, then we're coming down again, coming all the way down again, right? That's how you know that price is coming back down. If the 5-minute closes bearish, we're coming down all the way. So that's also how you close partial positions again, right? Because if you're coming down and you have pending orders placed here, then there is no reason to hold an open order. You can close a few more positions. You can close a bit more of your percentage, right? So we're going to watch the 5-minute time frame, because this is an important level, right? That's why I put a TP level there, 3314. If you look on the 15-minute time frame, that's a resistance level. Look at that. Go to the 30-minute time frame, resistance. Let's look further back, 3314. Just look at the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, we range there. 3319 is obviously better, but 3314 is a minor level. It's a minor level. You can see how price stayed under, stayed above, closed below, closed back above, stayed above, 3314. So, and then the gap, right? So it's a minor level. It's not a main level, but if the 5-minute candle closes, we got about 1 minute more for the 5-minute candle to close. Yeah. If the 5-minute candle closes strong bearish, then we're coming back down, right? I said there is no bottom wick. So if the 5-minute candle closes strong bearish, we still have 1 minute more, then we're pushing down again, right? So then it's better to close a bit more of your open trade percentage, maybe another 30%, 40%, even 50%. You close, and keep the pending orders as is, right? So we'll wait for another 40 seconds. And we're going to see how the 5-minute candle is going to close. See how this candle closed strong bearish and price pushed down 100 pips, pulled back and pushed down 110 pips. And if this does it here, then price could do the same thing, push back up, grab liquidity, continue down, another 100 pips, right? After the initial push, pre-NY push, there's not been volume. We've just been moving sideways. The 15-minute candles are closing in this block. It's about a 90 pip range, 90 pip range, 95, 90, 95 pip range. There is volume above it, there is volume below it. Okay, so the 5 minute candle closed, but that's not a strong bearish candle. So I'm not going to do anything. We're just going to leave it because that's more like a doji. We got almost equal wick on either side. It's I would call this a weak bearish candle, just like this, weak bearish candle. This is a strong bearish candle for price to push down. So probably wait for the next candle close. If the next candle closes also down, breaks the low and continues further down, and closes bearish, then we can close some of the open orders because that means price is likely coming further down. And now let's see where the 30-minute candle could close. It could go either way. 30-minute candle can come down in the next 5 minutes, in the next 4 minutes, come all the way down. Very possible. Very possible. Yeah. Oh, pushing down. Pushing down. We'll wait for the candle to close. Hmm. If we close bearish or close back at the London low, then I will close my open orders and keep the pending orders as is. Yeah. Close the open orders. If you close up here, we close above 3309. 3309. If you close above 3309, the 15-minute candle closes above 3309. That means the 30-minute candle is also closing above 3309. Then we could push further up. We could come down, grab liquidity because there is no bottom wick, and then further push up. Going to watch this 5-minute candle, how it's going to close. If it closes below 3309 or at 3309, that means the 5-minute candle is a strong bear candle, right? We're closing a strong bear candle. That means we're coming further down. But if you close well above 3309, then it's a weak bearish candle and price could continue to push up. So another 1.5 minutes more. Now, okay, here's the trade idea. Price, I believe price is pushing up. Now again, there are no certainties in trading, but price seems to have closed above the London high. If you just look back, price has closed above the London low, above the London low, pull back, grab liquidity at the London low and trying to continue up here to 3329, right? Back to 3329 towards the London high, right? There is a supply zone here, which we've marked here, 1 hour supply zone, right? It's trying to push back to that, or at least closer to that. I would look to take sells. If price gets to, just a second, I want to see what's happening on the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, 30 minutes for the 4-hour candle to close. Don't do anything. Keep the pending orders as they are, but don't take any buys or sells until the 4-hour candle closes. There's 30 minutes for the 4-hour candle to close. Okay. If we form a bull candle, we could go straight up. We could continue to go straight up to 3350. How's the 30-minute candle going to close? The 30-minute candle just closed. We closed bullish, and the 5-minute candle closed well above 3309. Yeah, I'm going to hold this. I'm not going to close anything. I'm going to hold it. Even if price comes down, let's see. I'm going to manage risk, obviously, if we 30-minute candle closes at 3304 at the London low or below that, I'm going to manage risk. And at these levels, but I'm going to hold the trade because the 30-minute candle closed bullish and closed above 3309, right? So I'm going to hold it for 3319 and 3326. Now, yeah, yeah, we're pushing up 3311. Yeah, I'd look for sells from a liquidity level. Sells. We can come down. And for buys, this is the trade idea. The fib is drawn. This is the trade idea. Pending orders are placed. This is the trade idea for the buys, right? For later on, even for later on, this is the trade idea. There is no new trade idea for buys. But the trade idea for sells is up here. If price comes to this liquidity level, to 3329 or this liquidity candle or to 3350 and forms 30-minute resistance and a tradable 30-minute candle closes, yeah, if a tradable 30-minute back candle closes, then sells to come down, right? That's the, yeah. Okay, all right, that's the end of the stream. We're coming down. No bottom wick, right? So we're coming down. Just wait. Don't do anything. Wait for the 4-hour candle to close. If you want to manage risk on your open orders, you can do that because we are coming down. Once this 5-minute candle closes strong bearish, we're coming further down. So once this 5-minute candle closes strong bearish, you can manage risk on the open orders. If it closes strong bearish, right? If it closes strong bearish, you can manage risk on the open orders. All right. Okay. That's the end of the stream. I'll be back tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. I've given out We've taken a trade during the streams. I've given out a trade idea for sells later on, post 10:30 or post 11 a.m. EST, anytime towards the London close, right? And we're anticipating these buys to work and price to push up to 3319, 3326, 3329, and then if there is volume, even to 3335. Yeah, that's the final TP, 3335. Okay. All right. See you guys tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. Tomorrow is Friday, so we will do the usual. We'll try to predict the weekly candle close, and we'll look for a setup in the first 2 hours of the NY session. All right, take care. All right. Don't overtrade, don't over risk. I've just watch how to manage risk. Right, I've explained everything very clearly. All right. See you tomorrow, 7:30 a.m. EST. Take care.